Hi guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day everybody. My name is Albert Tan from Download Silo. Today we have a guest from Romania. His name is Christian. Christian, how are you?
Hello, I'm very good. Thank you, Albert.
Okay,
I'm
so
originally from Romania, but now in Amsterdam.
now he stay in Amsterdam. But originally from Romania. So guys, I would like to do some housekeeping first before we actually start the webinar or Facebook live. So as usual, I would like you guys to actually do some housekeeping. Please give permission to this web video to actually show your name and photo uh, by clicking the link that I'm going to put up. Okay, let me show you the link. So this is the link. I can actually put it up in the chat so that everybody will know. Okay, Christian, while I'm doing that, just bear with me. Hold on, let me check who is online. Okay, guys, if you can hear us, see us, please type something in the chat so that we can actually know who you are, so that we can actually engage better with you guys. Okay. Sorry, I open up another window. I just need to tap this in the chat. Okay, I see Larry Tan and Sujit Biswas, but I don't see your name. I don't see the chat. Hold on, maybe I can see that. Now I see that. Jadip Harian, Larry Tan, and also Sujit Biswas. So, guys, I think we are actually live. So everybody is here, and we hope that more people will turn up. So as usual, give permission to this wave video by clicking that link. I put up in the chat and also in the screen. So before we start, let's do some warm up session with Christian. So Christian, can I ask you maybe some personal questions?
Sure.
Okay.
First,
So are you married?
no.
Okay, so this is too personal. No, I'm just joking. So it's nothing to do with the politics. So okay, guys. Let's start. Put aside the jokes. So Christian is actually from Romania, but now he's in Amsterdam. So Christian, can you tell us, as a developer, what experience do you have in the past, before you actually start WPLytic?
Okay, so for university, I have a bachelor degree in computer science, and then I always worked on a lot of different projects. I came to Amsterdam, and here I worked at a gaming company. We worked on a real-time multiplayer game, so it was a lot of interaction involved and performance. It was a startup. I really like working in the startup environment. So I do have some experience with startups. And yeah, before I was doing a lot of competitive programming. So going to programming contests where you are given a problem and you have to find a very efficient solution to that problem. That's also correct. I'm also passionate about that. So I'm still passionate about the performance and making things run as smoothly as possible. So I think I have been programming in total for like 15 years now,
Oh,
or more than that.
mhm.
So it's also passion. So it's not only work. I really like creating stuff.
Okay, would you mind tell them, because I already know, your experience, for writing software for sale in other platform.
Okay, so we started the company and we were initially selling on Code Canyon, various plugins. But I think like 3 years ago, we moved away from Code Canyon because we didn't like where their platform was going. And now we wanted to start selling products directly to customers. And while we were on Code Canyon, because that platform is focused on WordPress, we realized there's a need for WordPress analytics. Like there's not a lot of good WordPress analytics platforms, and most of them are not self-hosted, which is which is a bit weird because WordPress itself is self-hosted, so you have everything needed to have your own analytics platform without having to go to another service. And then we started working on WPLytic like 3 years ago. The idea came, and last year it was an initial alpha release, and this year in this period we are trying to go for the public launch.
Okay, so thank you, Christian. So now we know who you are, and we want to ask you one or more two questions. Basically, how many team members do you have in your company?
Okay, so our team is still small. It's we have like 3 team members in total. We plan to expand if everything goes well with the public launch. It's I'm the lead developer and the founder. Last year, Jamie joined us for marketing. We do have a part-time accountant to help us with all the sales, and we work with freelancers when you need like some promotional videos or some. Initially, like the WordPress version was done by a freelancer initially, the WordPress version, and now we're working on it ourselves. So the team is still quite small, but we do plan to expand, but not too much. We don't believe in really big businesses. We still have to want to keep everything focused.
Okay, so even though you are a small team, I believe that you will get bigger once more people buy your products. So before we actually start, let me ask you to go into detail. How actually this WPLytics work in the backend. Can you please share your backend?
Let me see if I can share the screen. Okay, I'm sharing the screen. So WPLytic is a WordPress plugin. To install it, you just add a new plugin. You'll get the archive when you purchase. You get a zip archive that you can install. Then you get access to your dashboard. We decided for now to make the dashboard in a different screen. Then you have more space for your stats. So once you add a plugin, there's actually no configuration needed. It automatically starts tracking the current domain. And we currently offer 2 different versions. One is multi-site, one single-site. This is the multi-site one. So if you have the multi-site one, you can see all your stats for all your domains in the same place. So here, for example, we're tracking the stats of WPLytic.com, and this is just another domain as example. But if you want, you can track even more domains. So you have a third domain. You just add the name of the domain, and then you'll get a tracking snippet. This is similar to how you include like Google Analytics. You get a JavaScript snippet that you can include on any website. So this also means that it doesn't only track WordPress sites, but if you have a different site, like any type of site like Next.js, static website, or on any other platform, if you include this JavaScript, you can see the stats in the same dashboard. So you can see we have this domain. If I did that script, we're going to see the stats here. Let's remove it. And for each domain, in this overview, you can see the like stats in the last 2 weeks, the visitors in the last 24 hours, and what's really cool, you can see the amount of visitors currently browsing your website. So if I open this and go on WPLytic.com, and then I go back, in a few seconds we should see we have 1 online visitor. It's all the stats are almost real time, so the data in the database, it's shown immediately to you. Some other analytics platform just show the data after a delay, but with us, you get the stats immediately. So it's really cool that you can see all your online users for all your domains in the same place. It's a very good way to have an overview if you have multiple domains to see exactly how each website is doing, which website gets a lot of traffic, which one got an increase in stats. And for each domain, then you can dive deeper into the stats. We have 2 main screens, one with stats, which shows you generic stats about the website, and one with visitors, which shows you individual sessions. So for the stats, you get all the stats that you'd expect for a analytics platform. You get the number of visits, page views, session length, bounce rate. You get a graph for those. You get the top refers, so you know where your traffic is coming from, the top pages visited, the countries where the visitors are coming from. Of course, you can sort it by hour, day, week, month. And the other stats, the other screen, really quick. This is like my favorite screen, actually. because it shows the sessions of all the visitors that checked your website. And in this screen, it's really easy to see exactly how your website is doing, because I can already see where the visitors are coming from. So from which country, I can see from which website, so the referrer, and I can also see exactly what they did on the website. So here we can see that most visitors that just came and visited the landing page. We can see the session length. And if you want to dive even deeper, for example, you want to see all the visitors that came from downloadsilo.com, I just click on this, and then it automatically filters for all the visitors that came from downloadsilo.com. So this is a very easy way to see exactly what each source of traffic brings you and what the visitors are doing. Now, if I go back to the stats, we already have this. Those are called segments at the top, which are filters. So that we created by simply clicking here. Now we can also see stats for this segment. So you can see the stats for all the visitors that had this refer. So we can see exactly, for example, all the visitors that came from downloadsilo.com, from which countries they are. And I really like this segmentation feature. For example, we can compare things. So we can compare, let's name on Facebook. So we can compare the number of visitors that came from downloadsilo with the number of visitors that came from Facebook. To do that, we can sort by, let's say, referrer. So if the referrer includes the word Facebook, then we're going to see the stats. So we can see we have 160 visits from Facebook and 27 from downloadsilo. Let's rename this downloadsilo. So we try to make the interface very easy to use, but still, it still has a lot of filters that you can use to understand what's happening on your website. But we didn't want to make it like as complicated as Google Analytics that has a lot of different settings that no one uses. So probably people just use like 0.1% of the Google Analytics interface, which makes it really hard to use the other parts. So now you can already compare like 3 different segments, like all visitors with visitors that came from Facebook and visitors that came from downloadsilo. So this is mostly it for the stats. We also have 2 features for tracking custom data like tags and events. So if you have purchase events, you can learn more about that on WPLytic docs. So you have tags, which are a way to tag a specific session. So you can tag it, for example, with the username of that user, or if they did a specific action. What I do on this website, let's load more visitors. You can see the dashboard loads pretty fast, even though it's hosted on a simple VPS. It's like a really cheap VPS, but the platform is really well optimized, so it runs well. So we can see we have some tags here that are created automatically from the checkout script. So if you want to see all the visitors that clicked on the currently running deal, you just click here. And then again, we see all the sessions of all the visitors that went to checkout. Why this is useful is because there we can see where the visitors are coming from. So in this way, you can see, okay, give me the visitors that purchased, and then you can see where that traffic is coming from. And then you can use that to bring more users that are converting. So it's really good to find out where the valuable traffic comes from. And you can also use events, which are similar but allow you to track a lot more data. So you can track like purchase events. So if someone purchases a product, you can add that product as an event and store it in the next to their session. Then you can use that for filtering, but also just for storing data. One example of an event that you can store is if you have like a feedback form, you can actually store the entire response using a WPLytic event. So if you have a question like rate our website 1 to 5, then you can have an event. You can even have a tag. So you could add a tag that the user rated 3. So you know the user rated 3 stars. And then again, you can use that to filter and generate different stats. So you can see, for example, all the users that rated 1 star. So something went wrong. you filter all those users, and then you can see like where they came from, what they did on your website, so which pages they visited, and then maybe you can understand better why they give a low rating. Okay, let's go back here. So those are the stats. It's a self-hosted platform, as we noted before. We can discuss more about that later. That's like the big advantage of WPLytic compared to other platforms. This multi-domain, multi-website license also comes with a user system. So if you're an agency and have different users or clients, and you want to give them access to their own domains, you can simply create a new user, like a new user John, password John. So you have a new user, they have access levels. Currently access level 0 is demo, so read-only, they can just view the stats for the website. And level 5 is admin, they can like add other domains, add other users. So for the user John, we could give them access to another website, so johnssite.com. And then they just have to add this script on their website. And then they have their own dashboard for their website where they can see only their data. Let's delete John. Okay, Albert. So this is mostly from the analytics platform. There's another topic that we can touch, which is the privacy part, which is the main focus on WPLytic. So about the privacy, there's two things. First of all, is that it's self-hosted. So everything that you see runs directly in your WordPress dashboard. There's no third-party service. So all the data for all your visitors is stored directly on your own server and is never sent to other companies like Google, which is really good for the GDPR compliance, because GDPR tries to regulate exactly this. They try to regulate who gets access to your data. So if you don't share data to third party, then the GDPR compliance is already a lot better than using any other cloud analytics platform. Apart from that, we do have more privacy features. So if you want to store the entire IP of the user, or if you want to just store a hash of it, so you don't display the entire IP, you can censor the IP address. So if you store the entire IP, you can only show a part of it. You can respect the browser do not track flag. This is a flag that some browsers use to instruct the browser, hey, I don't want to be tracked. And the analytics platform can respect that if you want to enable it. It also comes with a tracking consent pop-up if you want to enable it. And those last two ones are for your own dashboard. For example, you don't want the dashboard to send a request to our server to check for a new version, then you can do that. You can disable that. And then the platform really doesn't connect to any external service. There's also some tracking settings. You can track only a percentage of the visitors. You can enable or disable tracking on mobile devices. If you want to ignore specific IP addresses, like your IP address or this IP address that's added here is for Google bots. So if you want to ignore all the Google bots, you can add this IP range. It also comes with IP geolocation. So if you go to visitors, you can see both the country and the city of the visitor. So it's a local GeoIP database. So with the local GeoIP database, you don't need a third-party service to get the location of the user. Again, everything is local. And you can also decide to ignore some query parameters. This is also a privacy feature, because sometimes when you click on a link, it includes some sensitive info in the URL, and you can ignore that. You can remove that part from being stored. Okay, and this is mostly it. You can also see how much database storage the plugin is using. So here we can see it's using only 5 megabytes for 4,000 users. So it's around 1 megabyte for 1,000 users. And I think this is mostly it. Albert, if you want to. This was more like a show and tell. Now, if you want to show something specific or.
So that means, you have more or less finished your so-called demo on the back end, right?
Yes, I could go a lot deeper into each feature and show more examples, but I think it's better if we see what we have limited time to see what the community wants to see and wants to discuss about.
Okay, yeah, there are quite a number of questions. So let me, because quite a number of questions. So now it's 10:21. Okay, guys, before we continue with this session with question answer or demo, please what they call click the link on the wave video, which I actually projected it up and also in the Facebook chat to give permission to Facebook, to show your name and also profile photo, because very difficult for me to go into Facebook to check your name and profile photo. Normally, we only check from the wave video backend. If I can't see your name, I do not know who you are. I can see your face, I couldn't recognize you. So that's why we ask you to tap your name sometimes, that kind of thing. Okay, guys, please ask your question, and I would like to tell you guys that, because sometimes, I mean, to be frank, there are many freeloaders among our members. I don't blame you guys, because you come sometimes you want to win some prizes, but also please bear in mind that founders also incur some cost by giving away free LTD prizes, but then they hope to get some good feedback, good comment, or maybe suggestion on their product. That is more important. So if you can buy, so much better. If you don't, I think it's okay. Most important, interact with us, engage with the founder. So if you have good question, good interaction, you stand a better chance to win the LTD. Okay, so without further ado, I would like to go into the detail of the question. Christian, I will just project the question up so that you can see it. If you cannot see, you can actually see in the chat. So there are many questions. So let me, wow, more and more questions now. Okay, let me do one by one. Okay, yeah, this Leo Ku says startups are nice. I was from the startup world too. Yeah, Leo, you better create some WordPress plugin for us. Gold Canyon isn't good. They take a lot of money from founder, I believe. So maybe this is one of the reason why Christian want
Yeah,
to
this
start
is
up your
one
own
reason. Actually, the biggest reason is that they switched their model. So usually people used to sell products directly, and then they created their SaaS offering where you get like everything unlimited, like you can download all the products with a subscription. But this was really bad for both authors and buyers because authors get like a very limited part, and also buyers get a lot like shittier products, I would say, because yeah, and they not a lot of people keep maintaining their products because they just leave it there, and it's more about volume than having good quality products. And for me as an author, that was not worth. So, and they also didn't provide a lot of pricing options. So now, for example, we were doing a deal with lifetime updates. Like on Code Canyon, you were very restricted by their pricing model. So they just had a specific pricing model, and that was the only option.
Okay, yeah, I understand. But the most what I call hated position from LTD community on Code Canyon codes or maybe a seller is a lot of so-called founders, bracket. They buy some code from Code Canyon and repackage it
Uh,
and do nothing about it and then sell it to LTD community without telling us that this is Code Canyon code. Then after some time, they run away, and close down the company. So that's the worst thing. So I think you know what I mean, Christian. We talked about it just now.
Yeah, I think I've been asked before, like, isn't this some Code Canon script? Like, no, we worked on this for many years. So.
Okay, let's move to the next question. So Ryan, how many plugin do you have in Code Canyon? Okay, just for information. Maybe Christian, you want to tell us?
Yeah, so we also removed most of them because we had like five. So, but we moved away from Code Canon. I think now it's only one left that's also not really maintained, and we display a big warning. Just it's not maintained, but by this, if it helps you, it's like a think Vue.js chat application, so you can have your own chat like Discord. So some people like that, and it's mostly for developers. If you want to start like your chat platform, then you can get that as a starting point. But we clearly say it's no longer maintained. So, but yeah, so we had in total like 4 or 5 different products that we tried on Code Cannon.
Yeah, okay. I mean, our focus today is actually WPLytic. So let's talk about WPLytics. Okay, this question from Ryan again. Will it affect website speed in any way, after installing WPLytics?
Okay, so WPLytic, there's two options to install it. You can install it on a different server from your own website or on the same server as a WordPress plugin. So for example, with this one, we have this dashboard, which is installed on one server, but you can track also other domains. So for the server that is installed on, we try to make it that it's as efficient as possible. And in normal usage, it doesn't slow down your website. So it uses the same technologies as WordPress. And normally, if your website can handle your normal traffic, then this doesn't add a lot on top. It's just like one extra request per user. And when a visitor visits your website, it already does like 50 requests. So this is very lightweight. If you're concerned about performance, like you should also contact us if anything is wrong. But now we didn't really have cases where performance was an issue. Unless you have like millions of visitors, then you might want to put it on a different server. It's still possible, but for that amount of traffic, yeah, there's some consideration. But for normal usage, like under 1 million visitors per month, there should be no noticeable performance
Okay.
degradation.
Yeah, guys, if your visitors are below 1 million, then you are quite safe. So above 1 million, you better talk to Christian. Okay.
Yeah, I mean that's already like enterprise level after 1 million users per month.
Yeah, I mean, maybe for SaaS product or maybe for e-commerce store, that kind of things. So
And I
this,
mean,
mm,
when you say like talk to me, it's just so we give you tips on how you can configure your server. It's not we're not trying to sell you anything. So if you do run into like performance issue at high traffic, we're gonna help you with the configuration. We're not gonna try to sell you any services or products.
okay, thank you, Christian. So Jadip Haria is asking, what's the main difference between Google Analytics 4 and WPLytics?
Okay, so the main difference is that Google Analytics is a service that runs on their own server. So you send your data to Google, which is really bad for GDPR, and also the Google Analytics tracker is blocked by a lot of ad blockers. So their stats are not as accurate. And yeah, it's mostly you are in control of your data with Google. They can always close your account for no reason. All the accounts are connected. So if you post a bad comment on YouTube, then they might ban your Google account, then you lose all your analytics data. And it's also better for your users because Google doesn't know all the websites they visit. It's better for your business because if Google knows a visitor visited your website, they can use that information to promote ads for your competitors. So when that user searches something on Google, Google knows, hey, this visited that website, so I can show ads for a similar product that could be your competitor. So this gives a lot of like business advantages for Google to use against you if you give this data, and they can use this data for advertising. So
I see. Okay, I might not know the answer. Is this Google Analytics banned in Europe, EU?
in some countries it is, or it requires a lot of configuration to make it allowed, because the problem is that all the data that you track for users, if you send them to a different company, so if you send it to Google by including the Google tracker, you send all the visitor data to Google. Normally, you need to get user consent from that. And also because Google is in America, in the EU, they have different privacy laws, and you cannot really send visitor data to the United States because they have different privacy laws and they don't respect the. Yeah, there's some specific law. It gets a lot into the law part, but some countries, yes, they say they banned Google Analytics.
I see. Yeah, that's why I mean, this tabulating actually is actually filling this gap. So, but it's also good practice. Because I believe that either you use Google Analytics, and expose yourself to everything to Google. Because Google read everything about ourselves, including our Gmail, including all our data, including
Of course.
showing our competitors product to them. That kind of thing. So it's bad in the sense. Okay, Sujit, is there any extra data I get by using these two instead of looking at GA4?
So normally, I'd say in general, there's like fewer stats that you can get, like more in depth by default, because the interface is a lot simpler. I do think you get the extra stats. For example, this visitor screen, which I found it the most useful feature of WPLytic. This is not something that you get in, I think, any platform, especially implemented like this, where you can quickly see at a glance exactly how your website is doing. When so we can see we have a visitor from Dhaka, and they came from Google on a mobile device, and they went to the homepage, and then they saw two pages in our blog post. So two blog posts. This is not something you can see in most analytics platforms, and this really tells you exactly, okay, there was a user and they did this. This is like very useful for improving your website and understanding how you can improve it. Maybe you don't want the user to go to the blog. You want to promote them. You want to send them directly to the pricing page. So you make the pricing button bigger. So or make the blog button. You remove the blog button that the users don't go where you don't want them to. So I think this kind of stats you don't get in Google Analytics, or it takes a lot of time to create a custom dashboard that does this.
Okay, Christian, everybody know that Google Analytics don't show every click or maybe every data that they have. They show us what they want to show us. So does WLytics show us everything?
So normally, yes, it should be a lot more accurate. The problem with Google Analytics is mostly ad blockers, because ad blockers block like already 50% of the traffic, something like that. So half of the visitors you're already missing. And usually those that use ad blockers are usually also the more like technical ones, or the more knowledgeable users, which in some cases are the users that matter more, because they might be more likely to purchase. And apart from the ad blocker, because it's like a self-hosted platform, there's no third-party request. So if you install this on a WordPress website, for example, with the single-site version, there's no request sent to another domain, which can be blocked for various reasons, and they're also like less likely for something to go wrong. But in general, I'd say yes, you get more accurate data. So you get, I'd say, all the visitors. It's impossible to get all the stats. For example, this uses JavaScript. So if the visitor has JavaScript disabled, currently we don't track that. We might add it in the future, and it's possible. But nowadays, over I think 99% of the users, or even more, have JavaScript enabled, because most websites on the web nowadays don't simply break without JavaScript. But yeah, it's accurate. We also have bot filtering, so you're not going to see a lot of bot data. We have bot filtering either through IP ranges like here, or we block the IP Google bots, but we also have a list of known bot. They're called user agents. So most bots identify themselves as bots, and we will automatically exclude that. That's also a list that's visible in the code. So it's self-hosted. You can actually look at the code, and if you want, you can add something else to that list of exclusion. And another way to know if a visitor is a bot is usually they have a 0-second session length. So if it's maybe a fake click or someone that didn't actually visit the website, we can search for only like very short seconds. I think it has to be this. So you can see, like, for example, those sessions that are 0 seconds, they're most likely bots. So they're pings, bots,
Okay.
or
Yeah, Christian, when you're talking about this, I was thinking about how do you handle bots? Well, there are many bots that crawling any kind of any website,
yeah.
What?
So as I said, most of them are through in the code. We have a list of most popular web crawlers and bots. So automatically exclude all those bots that are most popular. There's of course a lot of different cases where there's like a new bot or a website, or someone simply requesting the website through some other service that's not yet in the bot list. Then it's still gonna appear as a visitor. But as I said, in the visitors list, if it's like a 0-second session, then it's more likely a bot. And you can, if you want, automatically delete or exclude those. So in your stats, if you want to exclude everything that's possibly a bot, you can search with the session length. You can start from 1 second. So this will automatically exclude all the visitors that are 0 seconds, which are usually the bots. So if you do this, you should see a lot more relevant data. So these
see.
are users that actually had some session length.
Okay, thank you. Can we track custom parameters and goals? I mean, this question from JJ.
Yeah, so we have the tag system and the event system to track custom data and events. And here we can have, for example, let's close those segments, create a new segment. And let's see, we want every user that went to checkout. And let's click this one. So this one you can already compare and see. The blue is all the users, and those are the users that click on checkout. You can view graphs for them, and we don't have currently a specific goals feature where you can see like 30% of users clicked on checkout. We do plan to add that really soon. For now, you can just see this, and it's still a visual way to see, okay, 8 users out of 569 click on the checkout, but we do plan to add specific goals where you can have this calculation done automatically. So this is like a 2%, then you can see it's 2%.
Okay, Christian, I have a
Yes.
question now when you come to this. Have you ever compare, I mean, any website, maybe your website, where you install WPLytics as well as Google Analytics so that we can compare the data?
Yeah, I tried that for a while, and it was usually more accurate. I think I'm not sure if it was showing more or less visitors, because I think it was the amount of visitors was similar, but they were like different visitors. So on Google, there were more bots and spam traffic, and that were tracked, but also a lot of legitimate visitors. So somehow they canceled out. But here, like in WPLytic, if you look at the visitors, most of them are already like humans that are like very likely to be humans. They come from Google and not bots. We do try to compare, but we tried that a bit and we felt like it was really unnecessary because that we're like, okay, this data is already better and more accurate than the Google one. Then we don't have a specific percentage like it tracks X% more visitors, because it also depends a lot of your traffic, because some websites tend to get a lot more spam traffic than others. Depends on where you post your links. So how you do your SEO. If you do your SEO in a not so good way, you'll get a lot of spam traffic, a lot of bots, and then your stats will be different.
Okay. Larry Tan asks, is WPLytics able to track your visitor journey and behavior so that we have a 360 view of their interaction?
Okay, so that's a good question, and it's mostly this. This is what the visitor journey is, because you can see the visitor, you know where they came from, you can see what pages they visited, and their session length. So this is a very simple visitor journey, and you can even see if a visitor visited multiple times. I don't know if there's. Yeah, so I clicked. You can also, so anything you can click, it's filtered by it. So if I click on this visitor, we can see they had 2 sessions. So this shows more the visitor journey. So you can see that initially they came from Google at 3:14, and then they came later from the downloads link from download silo, 7 minutes later, and they stayed for 9 minutes. So this gives you a pretty clear view of what happened with this visitor.
Okay. So next question is by Suja. Is there any heat maps? I don't see
So
any heat
there are
maps.
so there are no heat maps or session recording. We have a list of features that are planned features and what customer requests. So if you want a specific feature, you can request it here. But we do have some features that we won't do, and the heat maps and session recordings are in the won't do list, because first of all, it's self-hosted and we want to focus on performance. And heat maps and session recordings use a lot of storage and also send a lot of data. And we want to make this as performant as possible. And another reason is it's also privacy focused, and some users find the session recordings or heat maps to be too privacy invasive. So we do try to make it as lean as possible. This is actually based on our other product, which has those features, but it's not for WordPress. So this one is a lot more performant and privacy focused, and it's a lot easier to make it like GDPR compliant. With session recordings, for example, it's very hard to make sure no sensitive data is being tracked. And they also use a lot more data, which you might not want in your own WordPress database. Each session recording was like 5 megabytes, which is the same as tracking 1,000 visitors.
Okay, thank you. So this another question by Larry. Are we able to track an individual action and trigger webhooks to another app? Example, CRM to send an email to welcome them again.
Okay, this is a cool idea. We are considering it, and I think it's really useful. We didn't find yet any like use case for us specifically or the clients, but we know there's definitely use case that you can use, especially if you integrate it with events. So if you have an event when someone submits a form, maybe you want to send that form not to WPLytic, but to some other service. And we do plan to add webhooks. It's going to be added soon, I think within like by the start of next year. So Q1 next year, it's going to be there because it's very easy to implement for us. And it's a really useful feature to send the data to some other service.
Okay.
For now, if you want, you can still do that by like manually writing a few lines of code, or if you contact support, if you have any specific integration that you want, or like a specific use case, we're going to provide you with a code for it, because usually everything can be done in 1-2 lines of code.
Thank you. So Bravely asks, can we use with webhooks?
Yeah, so this is a bit similar. There's a, if you want, so that was about sending the data with webhooks. I'm not sure if this is the same or about receiving data with webhooks, but you can store data directly. So the data is stored in a MySQL database. If you want to store data, you can, I think Zapier, for example, has integrations with the MySQL database. So you can do, if you want, you can store something directly in the WPLytic database. So if you have like a specific user that you want to assign some data to, for example, after an email was sent, when they like read the email, you can use, for example, Zapier to tag that email. Hey, they read the email. This is a bit more complex, and we're currently not focusing on this. It's still recently launched, so we're really focused on the core part of analytics stats. And we do plan to add webhooks, but we first want to see what services people want to integrate to see exactly how we can make that in the best way. So if you want to integrate with a specific service with a webhook, please let us know. You can send an email at Cristian@wplytic.com, or simply submit your idea on feedback.wplytic.com. And then we're going to see what's the best way to integrate that feature in the product.
Okay, so next question is white label available? So Rohit, you want to sell to your customer using white label?
Yeah, so currently we launched this version. White label is not available now. We're considering it. It's mostly, so white label, it's gonna be implemented, and it's gonna contain probably just changing the logo and the name, because there's not a lot of things to change. Maybe the colors at some point, but currently there's no. It's only this. It's more for your own usage and your own clients, but no white label now.
Okay, the question is for white labeling. So are you going to charge extra or come with this, grandfather into this LTD?
Normally this is I would say the white label would probably be a different. It would be like something extra, because that's really a different use case. That's for agencies that really want to resell access in a way for their clients, and we haven't considered. We might add it in this one, or we might. I'm not promising anything regarding white label, because that's a pretty big feature that allows you to resell the product, and we're focused on self-hosted, where
Yeah, I mean for buyer they say they want everything, but for Christine, for founder, sometimes they need to consider the time and effort, and money spent on developing it. So there has to be a balance.
Yeah, I mean, if it's easy to implement, it also doesn't affect our business. So the problem with white label is that someone might use it as a competitor, so it might compete with our own business. This is why we have to consider it. But if it's no problem with that, then we're gonna have no issue adding it into the product for free. We have to consider it.
Correct. So Derek is asking, how is the keywords managed?
So if it's keywords from Google Analytics, from like Google search, so the keyword search, there's no way. So Google search doesn't pass the keywords to the website. The only way to see keywords for all search engines is to go to their specific webmaster tools. So if you go to Google Search Console, you see the keywords that the user used to go on your website. If you go to Bing Webmaster Tools, you see that. We do want to maybe show this data. So you maybe add some integration to Google Search Console to show this data in this dashboard, but that won't do anything extra. It will just be a bit easier for the webmaster to see their data in a single place. Because yeah, Google keeps this data for themselves, so you can only see that on Google Search Console. But if it's requested, so if we add it, we can add this integration to see the keywords directly in the dashboard. If you, for example, run ads on Google Analytics, you can set up the tracking URL in the ad to also include the keyword. So for ads, it is possible. And then you can, if it's a query parameter, so like a UTM tag in the parameter, then that can be tracked already. But that's only for ads. For the normal search, you can only see that in Google Search Console or Bing Webmaster Tools.
Okay, thank you. Next question by DS Wong. I will use GA data for tracking e-commerce hot and cold buyer based on their browsing behavior and trigger either email or other CTA pop-up. With WPLytics, can I perform such thing?
Okay, let me read that again. So you can track with custom events. So normally with custom events, you can track anything. I think it's the same with Google Analytics. Like there's not a lot of stuff tracked. So Google doesn't add events for you. You just have to track the events in some way. If you have WordPress, there's probably some plugins that add e-commerce events for your specific platform. So you can, so you want to track in this case hot and cold buyers based on their browsing history. So if you got the visitors, so let's go back here. If you click on a visitor, you can already see if they came the first time or the second time. And trigger either email or... Okay, so you also want to trigger data. So this is not really possible now. You want to store some data for a user to know if it's hot and cold, and then when they visit the next time, it can be done if with a simple line of code. You can add some data to the user and then check if they have that data, which is pretty basic, but this is not currently supported out of the box. So if you want to, and in general, you need to write some code anyway to show the tracking pop-up, the call to action pop-up.
Okay.
That's something very simple to implement. So again, if you need a specific use case, if you contact support, it's like one line of code if you don't have it in the interface. And how we develop in general, if enough customers request the same thing, then we're gonna add it in the product. So I think this is the best way to develop the product. So we only add what customers are requesting.
Okay.
So it's really important that if you want something, just say it, and
yeah, go to the request site, and request,
Yeah.
Okay, so Malia, does the product provide any additional data that is currently not available in GA?
Okay, I think we already went over this question. It was mostly like this screen, and yeah, it's mostly the ease of use and the individual session.
Next question by Nok. Nguyen from Vietnam. Does WPLytic interact with Google Search Console and integration with WooCommerce, I believe?
Yeah. So this is also what we discussed before. So the data in Google Search Console the only integration that can happen is to see the same stats that you see in Google Search Console here, because their keyword stats cannot be associated with a specific user. This is also, I think in the past you could do that, but with all the privacy changes, Google stopped giving you the keyword data for each user. And now the only integration that would be possible, and we might add it, is to show the same data that you see in Search Console, but here.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I just want to answer this question from Victor Lane, Landry from viewing from YouTube. You are eligible for giveaway, of course, but then I would advise you or maybe encourage you to join our Facebook group. You know, there is actually you can just search it, you know, in our Facebook group, and you can see a lot more Facebook Live in future. Okay. Can you give an example how can we use the data collected to potentially increase our business profit or make the data used for us?
Okay, I understand the first part, and not sure, or make the data user for us means. So I think I already gave an example before. If you want to increase your business, a business usually sells stuff, so you want to sell more stuff, and you can do that in various ways. You can, as I said before, you can see visitors that purchase, so you can see all the visitors that clicked on checkout. And then what you can do, you can see the refers, where the visitors are coming from. And by knowing where the converting users come from, you can go more. So you can go to a specific URL on Facebook. I don't know if they pass it. But once you know where the user comes from, you can put more efforts into promoting your product and business there. And the same with the countries. Once you know where the users that purchase come from, then you can target those specific countries. You can also go into the visitor screen and see exactly where the visitors leave your website. If you don't want them to live like on the homepage, then you can make a call to action button more clear. Or if they go to, as I said here, to the blog post, and you don't want them to like go directly to the blog, if you want to enforce a specific user journey, so if you want them to go there and then to pricing and then click buy, you can see if the user are doing that or not and improve it.
Okay, thank you. I think Derek, this question is the same as what
Yeah,
he
we
asked before. No?
already.
Yeah,
Yes.
similar. Even. If it is self-hosted, does it mean unlimited data and tracking? Question by
Okay,
fact.
so yes, so we have two versions, the single site and the multi-site, and both of them come with unlimited data tracks, so you can have unlimited sessions, unlimited events, segments, everything. Some self-hosted platforms also impose limits, like artificial limits, even if your server could handle it. They say you can only track 10,000 visitors, for example. But this one is with unlimited. So once you buy it, you don't have to pay anything extra, and there's no limits.
Okay, I think this is answered. Can we get live data similar to Google tools for tracking?
Yeah, so this shows live data. Also, this stats I, it's not automatically refreshed, but the data is very fresh. So if you refresh the page, like all the data is live. So if a visitor just visited your website 1 second ago, you're gonna see it here, and then you can already also see, as I said, all the live visitors on your website. So if someone goes to your website, then you should see, because I opened it in the other tab, you should see the number of visitors going up here. I think I have to do some actions for me to consider myself live.
Okay, so the next question by Victor: are you planning to add a feature that alerts about maybe off-site SEO issue like broken links and in the analytics dashboard?
This is actually a really good question, and one that we are also asking ourselves. So we want to know if we should focus only on the analytics. But then if we do this and we already have the platform and we have the webmaster who wants to see things about their website, then why not show more and decide like SEO issues, we're gonna probably show like on-site SEO issues because this is possible to do with a self-hosted platform to check your website and I'll let you know if you may be missing some meta tags and stuff like that. We do really consider adding that because we think it's really useful, and we even consider adding alerts if something goes wrong with your website. So, for example, if a page starts throwing 404 or if the loading time is too big, then you could get alerts. This is something we're planning to add. But the offsite link building is no, that's because that requires like crawling the web, and this platform is not. We're not planning to add that. But on-site for SEO, and making sure your website runs smoothly, we do plan to add more tools.
Okay, thank you. I mean, that's a good question, So, Ryan, will our client information be on your server? I don't think so because this is hosted in your server.
It's not it's not our server, it's your server. So if you have a WordPress site, you just add it as a plugin, and there's no other party involved. So everything is stored in your WordPress site in the same way like your WordPress pages are stored on your server.
Can we export report and send to admin email?
Okay, from the interface, we don't have an export functionality yet. That's one of the highly requested features. For now, you can still get the data and export it, from example, from MySQL, and use other tools that connect to MySQL to generate stats from it. So database visualizers, and you can use that to create reports. We do plan to add both one-time reports, so to generate a report and send it, but we also plan to add the newsletters, so you can receive every week a report of your website.
Okay, thank you. So this question is a bit long by Hajat Singh. So Christian, can you read it on the right hand side, the live chat there? I mean, it doesn't show fully in the video.
In regards, let me search for it.
Go to the live chat, click the live chat.
Yes, I'm sure. I'm trying to find it.
It's somewhere in the middle.
Oh yeah, you highlighted. Nice.
Yes.
Okay, right. So in regards to events, can we create alias to make it understand what we are looking for? For example, I want to measure how my call to action is working on one page versus another page. I see the power in your system is being able to track different events and create better understanding of how users navigate a website versus how I build a website. So let me see if I get these questions right. It's more about making sure you are able to store different events for maybe different versions and know what those events mean. So each event, so if you go here, you can have events that have category action, which tells you what event happened. This is more used to store data, but what we use mostly for filtering is tags. So I don't know if you gave any example. So you give an example of how your call to action is working. So we do have this exactly. So this is a call to action, this checkout WPLytic LTD multi. So then we can see, you can compare stats for them. You can compare, for example, how the multi website checkout compared to the single site. So we can see we had 8 multi checkouts and 1 single site. And then you can also see the visitors that clicked on those. So you can only see the one that clicked on single. We can see it's only one visitor. And once you have those events, if you want to add even more specific, see this also includes the checkout events. Those are mostly automatically, with one line of code, it integrated with the paddle checkout. So when you click if I go on the website and I click here to open the checkout page, this is on the same page with JavaScript. And those events are automatically tracked by the script with just one line of code. And then you can see all the checkout events. And then you can see exactly where they quit. You can see they clicked on the checkout, they added their details, they changed their country to a different country. but they removed the coupon and then they closed it. Currently, I think now if you remove the coupon, you cannot add another one. So I actually know why they closed it, because maybe they're trying to add a different coupon, but they couldn't. So this already tells me exactly what the visitors did with using just the tags.
Okay, thank you. This is a long question, but then it's worth answering. Okay, real cool. I noticed you have tags and event, but for non-coders, can we have an easy to use point and click to set event and tags on Gutenberg and page builders?
Okay, this is a good question, and I'm actually gonna note it down, because our plan was to add tags and events, maybe using a browser extension. So with the browser extension, you could go on your website and select, for example, this button, and on this button, I want to add this tag when it's clicked. But it's also a good idea if we can integrate it, because it's WordPress specific with WordPress within maybe the WordPress editor. So now it's pretty easy. So we can also add a tag like this. So this might still be considered coding, but if you have like any element in your editor that you can edit and, for example, add a class or edit the HTML, you can add data-WPLi click tag, and with the click tag checkout, and this will automatically add the tag checkout if the user clicks on this link. But the editor is a really good idea. So I'm gonna actually write it down. So it's a visual editor, but it's from the WordPress editor, like Gutenberg.
Ranji, I see your name in the chat, but you didn't give permission to wave video to show your name and photo. No? Please do that, please. Because I'm wondering who is asking all those questions. I think you are the one. Okay, let me go to the next question. Okay, there are many questions. Now it's 11 o'clock, so I think we should
It's already
continue.
1 hour, so
So, Christian, it's okay to continue, huh?
yeah, we can continue for like
Okay, good.
20 more minutes, trying to answer more briefly to if question with more yes or no, because I
Okay,
always like going really in depth.
okay. Victor, similarly, do we have plan for feature that notify user when the connected website go offline unsuspectedly? I believe it will be highly beneficial for users.
Yeah, so we want to do that, but the problem is if it's hosted on the same server, if your if your website goes down, this goes down entirely. But if you use like the multi-site and it's on a different server, then of course you could add that. The uptime, we did plan to add uptime monitoring from us. So we do plan to provide uptime monitoring for your own dashboard for all users that purchase that have a valid support period. And with this deal, you get a lifetime support period. So we do plan to provide lifetime uptime for your dashboard. But no, I don't think right now we're going to add uptime within the dashboard itself, because it's self-hosted. So if your server goes down,
Okay, so Maria, can we create custom analytic report based on KPIs?
okay, so you can, but not from the dashboard, because that's to create a really good analytics report. You need a really complex visualization tool, and we're focused more on data collection. You can use other tools because it's a MySQL database. There's a tool called ChartBrew that's also self-hosted, that's specifically designed to create dashboards. So if you want, you can connect that tool to the WPLytic dashboard, and then you can create. They have a really good interface for creating custom dashboards, and they also have a self-hosting offering that I think it's free. So you can use that to connect to your dashboard and create your own dashboards.
I see, I see. Okay. So does I need stability if I'm using Google Analytics? Of course, if you have the money and the time to buy it, so you
So,
should
so
buy.
this, yeah. So this is an alternative. So you can drop Google Analytics and use WPLytic, and this will give you like better stats. It's gonna be easier for you to see the stats of your website. and it's also better privacy. You'll have less issues with privacy laws like GDPR. And yeah, in general, it's an alternative. So if you use Google Analytics, you should consider switching to WPLytic for owning your own data.
Can it track the full journey from coming to website after? I think this has been asked by Larry
Yeah,
Tan.
so you
Yeah,
can see here, and you can see exactly what the visitors do.
correct. Okay, let's move on because we have many questions to answer. Is there any option to ignore traffic from certain IP and repetitive traffic?
Yes, it is. We showed it here. So you can add either an IP or an IP range. So if you add asterisk at the end, it ignores all the IPs that start with this address.
Okay, that's good. Okay, this is heavy stuff. Can you show us how user segmentation works? I can't see in the docs.
Okay, so yeah, so our docs, because it's a new product, we're still working on our docs. We do try to make it as easy as possible to use. So if you go to stats, those are mostly the user segments. So each segment can have different filters, and you can either create filters by adding here. So you want a specific session length, or that traffic they visit a specific page, or maybe they came from Google. So this is how user segmentation works. And then you can copy this as a different segment. So Google plus 2 seconds. So now there you have a different segment. You can also create segments just by clicking on data. So you can see all the customers that close the checkout. Then you'll instantly see both the sessions. And if you go to stats, this also applies to stats. So close those ones. You can see how many checkout closes we had. So this is the part with the segments. It's very small at the top, but it's small but powerful.
Okay, thank you. Can we integrate with Looker Studio or any other reporting tools or no? I don't know what is Looker Studio, but maybe.
I'm also not familiar with Looker Studio, and as I said, it's a MySQL database, and you can connect other tools that connect to a MySQL database, like Chartbrew or data visualization tools.
Vladimir asking any AI integration for what?
Yes, so we do have this one, which is gonna be released soon. So we're gonna have ChatGPT integration, which is for getting answers. So you can ask the ChatGPT how many visitors did they have in the last 30 days,
I see.
and then
Okay, good.
you're gonna receive the answer. And so instead of having to go through the dashboard and search for the data, then you can even ask more complex stuff like how many visitors came from Google that purchased, and then you're just gonna get the answer. So you can simply ask the AI.
That will be excellent for lazy
Yeah,
people.
we actually plan to release it like this week or next week probably, as a weekend is coming and it's very busy in this period.
Okay. Nice. So any upper limit request that you can handle per day, per minute, per hour?
So there's no specific limit set, so there's no limit enforced, but it depends on your server. But normally, if your server can handle your normal traffic, it will also be able to handle this. I could give you a number, but it simply depends on your where are you hosting your server. But if you have less than like I don't know 100,000 visitors per month, then you shouldn't even like have to consider the number of requests. Like it's very efficient. So unless you have millions of users, then there's no limit.
Okay, what sort of advanced analytic that is not available anywhere else can we expect?
So I don't think we're gonna have any like data that cannot be added in any other platform. I think what's different is gonna be a lot easier. So if we implement features, it's a lot easier to use them. And also all your data will be in your own database. So there's not a lot of analytics platforms where you can access directly that data, the entire data, and see exactly what's stored and
Okay.
transfer it to wherever you want.
Victorine, do subdomain count as a separate site or not? I mean, this is to decide whether to buy multi-site.
Yeah, so for the multi-site, it doesn't really matter. So I can add like docs.wplytic.com here. So it's gonna show it as a different website. And the multi-domain one comes with unlimited domains, so it doesn't really matter. And the single site one, it's just for a single WordPress installation. So if you have a different WordPress installation, doesn't matter if it's on a subdomain or a different domain, it's gonna need a different like single site license. But that just shows the data for one domain. But this one is for like unlimited domains.
Okay, I was waiting for this question actually. Mohan, any significant difference with user Maven? So they also have a LTD right now, but it's a SaaS.
Yeah, I think I was looking over it because I was not familiar with them, and I checked, and then yes, I realized it's SaaS, so it's the same as other platforms where you don't really own your data, and if they like increase prices or decide to close the platform, then you lose everything. Like with WPLytic, if you buy it now, you have it forever, and even if we like somehow disappear, which we're not planning to, then you're still gonna have the platform, still gonna have your data, and it's.
Okay.
But yeah, with username, maybe we're not really familiar with them. It's again hosted versus self-hosted.
Can we show example comparison of a site having GA and Mirror in side by side and how they outperform? I asked this question just now, so
And
maybe.
personally, I'm no longer using Google Analytics. So I actually use this for our own websites. So we do use our own analytics platform because it's actually better. So honestly, I see a lot better what's happening on my website. The dashboard is faster, and then I don't send the data to Google. For me, even for me personally, I really like it to use it.
Okay, so this question a bit long at the end. So, by Lyoku, any plan to put up a free version and pro version so that we can get others to contribute to the free version?
Okay, so this is a really good question, and you even give some examples like Matom and Postong, but where our business is focused on self-hosting, why they offer free versions is they offer you a free version that doesn't contain all the features, or maybe it's not as easy to use and install, and they provide a hosted version their cloud solution that they try to. So the free version in that case acts as a lead magnet. They want you to get the free version, and then they want you to switch to the cloud version because this is how their business works. This is how they earn their money. In our case, we are self-hosted only. So we put all our features in the hosted version, which is paid. We don't plan to release any free version anytime soon. We do want to have like as pure version as possible and to add all the features in those versions. So if you get like the multi-site license or the single-site version now, you're always gonna get all the new features. We also don't plan now on adding any paid plugins. If we add ChatGPT integration, you're gonna get it as a free update. It's not gonna be a paid add-on.
Yeah, this Techem Suja, is there a debug view inside?
So it's on your own server, so you can see exactly what's happening. We don't provide any additional tooling for debugging because you can already see all the requests on your own website. This is why it's nice for having a self-hosted analytics platform because you can see like exactly what's happening with all the requests. So you can see all the data in the database. You can see like the performance. You can use all your tools in the cPanel to see your requests. And we do plan to add like more security features like logging the sessions. So what's called like logging. So you can see, hey, this user logged into my dashboard at that time. But apart from this, you don't plan to add any debug view. You can see if you look at I think at the dashboard here, I think we do have a debug flag. I think it's called the WPLytic debug. And if you want, you can set this to true, and then you're gonna see some more events. But there's not a lot of debugging to do, so you can already use the browser's dev tools or the dev tools on your server, because everything is on your own server.
Okay, guys. I just want to tell you guys, the giveaway participation form is up there. I also put it in the chat, so please participate if you want to win any of the 5 prizes. Okay, please go ahead. And while you're doing that, fill up the form, and we're answering the question now. So we have to be a bit fast. Okay, this is by Leo Cool. So asking a non-WordPress version based on WordPress, you mean having to manage WordPress site is on.
Okay, so this WPLytic is meant for WordPress only. What you can do, it's also because it uses the WordPress stack, so it uses Linux and not Linux, MySQL and PHP. And by installing it as a WordPress plugin, it already has, like, you don't have to do any setup. If you want to install it on a different server, so you could consider that as non-WordPress, you still have to use WordPress. So you can, most hosting providers provide one-click WordPress installations. So you can just click on, I don't know, DigitalOcean, new droplet, and then select WordPress. And then you can install WPLytic there. And I'd say that being on WordPress can also be an advantage because it comes with extra like security tools. You can add other plugins. You can also let WordPress auto update to maybe fix any potential issues. But we don't plan. So WPLytic is meant to be deeply integrated with WordPress, and the single site one is also supposed to run on the exact same server as the WordPress one. But with the multi-site one, you can still track non-WordPress websites, but it still has to be installed on a WordPress server.
Okay, thank you. Hajab Singh, if a customer insists on using a good GA, is there a way to import data from GA, from Analytics to GA?
Okay, so there's no import. We might have to think about this, but I don't think it's possible because they don't store data per user. So you don't have this information in Google Analytics. And because you don't have this information, we cannot really import it because they just have the number of stats. So there's no importing.
Okay, thank you. How do you compare with Matomo, Umamani, and other self-hosted version of Plausible? So I mean,
I think each of them is different, and we could say like different points for each one. I think Umami and Plausible are a lot simpler, and they allow you to do a lot less things. Matomo is been longer. It's more like a Google Analytics alternative that is a bit older and become a bit bloated. So it has a lot of features and it's a bit slower. And with all of them, it's the same as we mentioned before. Their main business model, it's their cloud offering. So if they're offering something for free, I don't think any of them offers the same stuff. And I'm pretty sure if you go to Matomo's website and if you check like their self-hosted offering, the free version comes with just a few features, and they have a lot of paid features that actually cost a lot per year. And also with the other ones, they usually have a like reduced version that's self-hosted. It's not their best version that they give away for free.
Yeah, I mean, nothing is free in this world. No, there must be somebody has to pay the cost. So,
Yeah, of course, and they must gain something from making it free.
correct. So I believe a paid version of Matomo can do a lot of things as well. So, but anyway, Jadip asked, free plan of GA have limitation. Is there any limitation in Analytics?
No, as I said before, you can track unlimited sessions and unlimited visitors, and with the multi-site one, unlimited domains.
Okay, Lioku, I've actually put up the link. It's actually feedback.wplytic.com. That's
Yes,
a map.
feedback.wplytic.com.
Just a suggestion, like Facebook, Instagram Insight can show us what is peak time in the day or week or on the dashboard when people are visiting. Oh, you can ask the AI once the AI is done.
That's what I actually wanted to say this. So currently in the UI, there's not a lot of different graphs and dashboards. But yes, with the AI, you could simply ask that today when's the peak time, and then you'll get a response.
Okay, DS Wong, by now you should know what is the advantage of the pro version. I mean, what is the advantage of this, what they call Analytics, Okay, next question. Sorry, I have to rush a little bit.
Yeah, I think that question was about a pro version. So it's not going to be a pro version. So this is the highest tier that we're going to offer that contains all the features. So it's a paid self-hosted, so it gets all the features.
Yes.
So there's
I mean,
no.
it's either single site or multi-site, or you call it unlimited site. Christian, you should change to unlimited site. Multi-site people think differently. They only thought that a few site. You put unlimited site, LTD community very happy.
I think it does say unlimited sites on WPLytic that you can still set it up on one server, but then you can track.
Correct.
So you can track unlimited domains. It says.
No,
Here.
it's just I mean, if people don't read in detail, they might thought that it's only 5 site, 10 site, or 20 site. So it's just marketing.
Yeah, we decided not to do that because it's on your own server, and adding an artificial limit will be weird. Like you already have your server, your product, just you can do whatever you want with it on that server.
Okay, this is a good question. WP integration on the way. Yes, it's on the way.
It's here, it's planned, and you can vote for it to make it higher, but it's already high.
So this question has been asked. Let's move on. The more time. Okay, this on the dashboard can be disconnect on a customer site.
Yes, so you can remove them access, so they can, if you add a new visitor, and you can also remove that user, so they cannot no longer see the data.
Okay, thank you. So Hajib saying that no, I'm also thinking along A/B testing. The tool will be useful to do that.
Yeah, that's true. Usually A/B testing can be also done with tags. So you tag one version, version A that the user saw, and then you tag the other users with version B. And then when you have the tags, so I think the tags is the most powerful feature. When you have the tags, you can generate stats for version A and version B.
Okay, thank you. Any report we can send to clients? I think this has been asked.
Yeah, we answered this before, so you can generate one or use an external tool, and we do plan to add the newsletters.
Okay, so this also has been answered for AI integration.
Yeah, so the integration will be to query data for now. So you can just ask and you get questions, you get the answers.
So this is also have been answered.
Yes.
Okay, so let's move to JDIP area. How much what month data can be tracked in WPLytic? I think it's unlimited, right?
Yes, unlimited
I mean, it depends on your server.
on your server, but as I said, so you can track 1 million users and like 1 GB of storage, and so most storages have tens of gigabytes. You can track tens of millions of visitors.
What is the ATA of WooCommerce integration?
The basic WooCommerce integration will come at the start of next year. So before, let's say February, March, it will be added.
Okay, good. So this has been answered. It might cost something for white
Yes,
labeling.
so no white label for now.
Heat map session recording be sent to cloud storage, instead Wasabi, perhaps Wasabi, because it's sent to your own server. You cost you slow down the your own site.
Yeah, you could send it, but it would still be the other issues with privacy invasive, and also all the data has to go through your own website too and processed by your own website before being sent to Wasabi or other storage. So yeah, there's no heat maps and session recordings planned.
Okay, so data is in real time, of course. So you have seen.
Yes, so there's no caching involved. Everything is loading, and you can see it loads fast even on a cheap server.
Okay, integration with Abato. Just please request it in the feedback there.
Yes, and I don't know what Talbot is, so I have to look into it.
Okay, this question is a bit long. For white label report generation will be a big thing. For me, generating usage report with my logo, no logo would be more important than white label portal. Don't want to resell access, just want to provide report. I mean, this is for agency staff, they want to have their own logo in the reports, that kind of thing.
Yeah, so we don't provide the reports yet, and we do plan to add it. But if you want, you can always generate reports you have all the data. So the data is in your database. Just a matter of running a query and displaying the data. And there's tools that can do this. They can connect to the database and generate a report for that, a PDF.
Okay, Larry Tan has a suggestion to say that I have to do summarizing using the AI.
And so the AI currently won't have access to your data. This is also some privacy. So if you integrate with ChatGPT, ChatGPT will never get access to your data. It will just generate the queries that your server will run and get the data. So it will not be a lot of summarizing unless you tell the AI. Like if you give the AI the data, so you say I have those visits in the last month, which maybe he answered before, and then we generate a summary.
Mhm.
We might add this in the future where you can send data and summarize it, but currently the AI integration that's planned, it's for querying the data, just getting answers to your questions
Mhm.
without a summarization about existing data.
Okay, so yeah, Victor. So you are a member of a group, but then you can't access the Facebook. I do not know why because there's something wrong. It could be the Facebook issue. I really puzzle. But then we talk about it later. Okay, this question might be useful. Can I connect this data to Google Ads account so that I can target those audiences?
Okay, so there's no integration. I actually we have to look more into this, but yeah, this is those
Eh,
targeting doesn't work well unless you include their own target tracking pixels. You
Yeah.
can also, of course, send data, but usually, yeah, targeting only works well if you include their own tracking pixels.
Any plan to have a cloud version like Plausible and no money?
No, so we're fully focused on the self-hosted one because we want to make it as easy as possible for you to run your own instance, and we do think this is the future and the best way for customers to track their data.
Okay. Can be able to change the appearance CSS of the dashboard the way the data event can bring more clarity and ease the customer being to be understand.
So
Hmm.
this, I guess, ties into the white label where you can customize the data. We don't have that yet. It's hosted on your own website, so you could add some custom CSS to change it if you want. I think we do add some helper classes, which makes it easier to select specific elements on the website and change. And yeah, so this is not possible, but it's on your own website, and you might be able to change the theming. But when we add the white label, if we add it, we're gonna also add more customization options.
Okay.
Albert, I think is almost 1 hour and a half. I think I'll have to go in like 10
Okay.
minutes.
So
We
if
can
you
get
have
back
to
to more
go,
questions.
I suggest that there are a few more questions that maybe you can come back tomorrow to answer in the chat, in the Facebook chat. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure. So I can come back to the Facebook
Yeah.
chat. If this is
Okay.
Facebook. Okay.
So I can do the giveaway now, or you want to be present, you can go if you want. So what do you think?
I have like 10 more minutes, so if it takes less than 10 minutes, I can be present in the giveaway.
Okay, good. Give me a moment. I need to
Yes.
gather all the. Maybe you can look at the question on the right. You can actually answer them if you want.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
gonna see where we left off.
Let me gather all the names of the participants. Give me 1 second.
Okay, so there's a question about universal analytics. If we can see performance for specific URLs, so you can see data for a specific domain or a specific URL. I think that's a specific page, so you can actually filter by page. You can see for the home page. It's not, we do plan to add the performance indicator, so you can see how fast each page loaded. That it's calculated, but it's not yet stored. It's going to be added.
Okay, guys. Sorry, Christian, to interrupt.
Um,
So
no
let me
problem.
do my work. So okay, today we have 5 prizes, three single site and two multi-site. So we're going to draw 3 prizes today. 2 prizes we will decide because there are so many questions and a lot of good feedback. We'll go back and check. So one single site and one multi-site will be decided later. So today we're going to do draw 2 single site and 1 multi-site. So 3 prizes for random draw. So let's go to the name list here. Sorry, I hope there is no repeated name. Okay. So guys, if you have not asked any question before that, so you will not be entitled a prize if your name is drawn. So I have to say that because it's only fair. So let's do it now. First single site prize. Mary Tan, your name is there. Congratulations. Mary Tan, single site.
Congratulations.
Mary Tan asked a lot of questions as well. So let's remove your name. Are you there to claim your prize? Please be there. Type your name in the chat. Okay, Mohan names is repeated. Sorry, let me remove his name. Larry, are you there? Larry Tan. Okay, okay, congratulations, you are there. So let's do the second draw first. Single side. Shuffle again. Oh, Ngọc Nhu Yen. Congratulations. Ngọc Nhu Yen is from Vietnam. So he's a very frequent supporter of Download Silo active. So congratulations. Are you there to claim your prize? Ngọc Nhu Yen, please type your name. Okay, congratulations. So this is the third prize, which actually will be the multi-site. So let's spin and hope that the lucky one will win this. Oh, Liu Ku, you missed by a hairline. Muhammad Omar Farouk Sabu. Unfortunately, I don't see any question you answer. No, you last minute answer this question, so please, you will be disqualified. Sorry, I have to be fair to everybody. So I have to
No,
spin again. Sorry, Muhammad. I want you to win. That's why I told you guys. Please help me, help yourself. Answer. Ask any question or whatever comment before we draw. So, okay, Larry Tan. I'm buying multi-site. Please give my prize to another winner. That's good. Let me
that's
draw
nice.
again.
Thank you, Larry.
So let me draw 2 more. One is the single site, and the other one is a multi-site. So guys, I feel bad for Muhammad, but because that is our rule, so please bear with me. So this draw will be on the single site. Oh, Leo, you missed by a hairline as well. Jadip Alia. Congratulations, Jadip. I think you must be there because I normally see you there. Are you there? Jadip. So while waiting for him, I will spin the last prize so that time is short now. This is the multi-site. Guys, pray hard. Okay, Jadip is there. Congratulations. Ryan Muhammad, you won the multi-site. Ryan Muhammad is also an active member in our group. Congratulations. Ryan, can you please type your name to show that you are around to claim the prize? Okay, Larry Tan is a generous guy, so your kind gesture is very much appreciated.
Is the draw
Okay,
over? Okay.
so yeah, Ryan, you are there. Congratulations. So we have to rush. Christian has something to do soon. So Christian, thank you for your coming to explain to us your detail about Analytics. I believe a lot of questions have been answered. So you can come to answer the rest of the question tomorrow or whatever. So guys,
Yeah.
thank you for coming in to this interesting session. And personally, I believe this is a great plugin. So it's very cheap. To be frank, it's very cheap. Especially for the
I
multi-site.
mean, now, yes, especially because now we're having the deal with lifetime updates. So normally it costs yearly to get all the new updates, but we have this deal now with the lifetime updates and also at a discount. So it's normally not this cheap. We do know that it's like a cheap for what it offers for being like a lifetime and unlimited. So if you can get this deal now, it's a really good deal personally. Like you get it and then you'll have analytics for the rest of your life.
Yeah, perhaps the next word. I mean, next time Christian might actually charge on the yearly update. Maybe it could be year. I mean LTD, but yearly update you have to pay for it, right, Christian?
Yeah, I mean that's the normal price. So the normal price it's you have to pay yearly for updates. But now this is like a campaign that we're running because we're launching where you get lifetime updates. So
Thank
then
you.
normally you have to pay like $50 per month for updates.
Okay, so thank you, everybody. And Christian, do you have anything to say to the audience? We say goodbye or good night to them or good morning to
No,
them.
thank you. I really enjoyed it and there were a lot of good questions and thank you, Albert, for hosting. And I'm gonna try to come to chat tomorrow to answer the unanswered question if I remember which ones were unanswered.
Okay,
So thank you everyone for
yeah, thank
joining
you.
and
Bye
thank you,
bye.
Albert.
See you again in the next session. Thank you,
See you.
Christine.
Bye.
Bye.